Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 83 of the 72 review. Just myself and Ian tonight. So we'll start straight away. Ian, introduce yourself. Let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, and then we'll talk about the show and what we're going to do tonight.
Well, I'm Ian, 62-year-old Rotherham season ticket holder, who was having a rather poor season, really, as far as the fans concerned. But when the Millers are away, I'm all over the country vlogging for me own YouTube channel, which is at Old Man Groundhopping. Something I enjoy. It's something I can look back on in later life when I'm not able to go to the games. So tune in for that if you can.
Link is in the description down below. And talking about links, because there's only me and Ian tonight, I have put the link to the live stream in the chat. It's the pinned comment. There it is. If you want to join us and talk about your team's result this weekend, please go ahead and do so. We'll get you in for a quick chat, talk about your club, how your season's going, and how your weekend went as well. But if you are new to this, get your comments in. It does drive our conversation quite a bit. But what we do is we go through all three divisions, so League One, League Two, Championship, and talk about as many games as we can fit in around an hour's time. Quite a lot to fit in tonight. We've got fixtures from League Two and League One, and then we missed a week last week because I was busy on Sunday. Not been too well this week, so hopefully the voice holds out. We've only been two of us, but I'm sure, Ian, you'll be able to do enough talking for the both of us.
As usual, yeah.
We've got a few people already in, a couple of regulars. We've got Sue, Lincoln fan, good evening. We've got Mark, the Donny fan, good evening, Mark. Bradford fan, Neil, evening to the deadly duo, we like that.
Deadly duo, definitely.
Yeah, and Mark says that we were robbed on Saturday, 2 definite penalties. And I think we'll start in League Two. So let's get that on. We will get the banner across the bottom as well with all the results on. And we'll start with a decent draw. I'd have certainly taken a draw before a ball was kicked. I predicted a 1-1 in the preview. I think it's two very good teams that will be in and around that top three mixed playoff picture. Anybody who finishes above Donny or Notts County will have had a very, very good season, in my opinion. But yeah, I highlighted Alessandro Yatta as one to watch, big, strong centre forward, and he showed what he's all about 13 minutes in. Probably one of the best footballing goals I've seen down at the Eco Power for some time. Notts County played it around really well and got it out to their left-hand side, doubled up on Sterry. Molyneux couldn't get over quick enough to stop the cross, and Yatta just got the jump on Jay McGrath. Fantastic header. Sharman Lowe could do nothing about it. And for me, Notts County had the first 30-35 minutes and they could have blown us away. They had a couple of chances that we brought on ourselves, really, put pressure on ourselves, pull back passes, Yatta rounded the keeper, and it was a good save to prevent it going 2-0. But then from kind of the last 10 minutes of the first half, we started to get a foothold in the game, I think. And whatever was said at half time certainly worked because we were much better in the second half. I mean, you look at the stats, possession 40% to 60, but the amount of shots that we managed to get off at goal with the 40% possession was incredible.
Second half, Dan.
Yeah. First half we were poor, mate, and really disappointing to kind of not really show up for the first 30-35 minutes. But the second half, I thought we really matched them, if not bettered them. And there was a really good save at 1-0 in the second half. Sharman Lowe's got down well to his left. And then pretty much immediately after that, we've gone up and equalised. But then from there on, I felt there was only going to be one winner. And we just unfortunately ran out of time. But on the balance, probably a fair result. There was a couple of penalty shouts. I think the one on Molyneux was a definite penalty. I've looked back at it, and from our angle that I've got on the video, it looks like he's kind of just crumbled under very little pressure. But then I've watched it on the highlights, and he's got the wrong side of the defender, and I think he has impeded him. I think any fan of any club, if it was their team, they'd be arguing for it. So yeah, bit unfortunate not to get a penalty and get the 3 points, but I think both teams can't really be too aggrieved with a point in that one.
No.
We've got John Parnham in the chat the Notts-Donny match was as good as expected, fast-paced, and a result that was fair. An excellent match for the neutral. Yeah, I agree. I think a draw was probably a fair result. My biased head would say that we probably turned the screw a little bit more in the second half than what County did in the first. But yeah, I'm happy with a draw. I'd have been happy with it before a ball was kicked as well. Neil said two good sides that will not be fighting for automatic promotion come the end of the season. Both sides will probably have taken the scoreline in Fodford before kick-off. Yeah. And then we've got Dale, a County fan. A game of two halves this game, and a draw about right, and we're still undefeated away from home. Yeah, so just shows you're a very good team. And yeah, I think honours even. I think we can both, all fans from both clubs can be quite happy with that. And Mark's just checked. It was the same ref we had at Everton. Yeah, we didn't do well there either. But no, I'm happy with a draw there. It's kept us in touching distance of the top three. And 11,000 there, fantastic. Fantastic attendance, fantastic atmosphere. So yeah, hopefully we can take that performance in the second half onto Salford next week at home and get 3 points and break into that top three again. And I'm sure Notts County will be up there come the end of the season. Lovely stuff. Ian, any League Two fixtures that you want to touch on, and I can give me a voice?
Yeah, there's a couple actually. The first one I'd like to mention is Accrington Stanley's win at Chesterfield. Who saw that coming? I mean,
certainly not me. I had Chesterfield on my accumulator.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, yeah, all right. Teams can go away from home and sneak a 1-0, but 3-0 is pretty comprehensive. That even going away from the stats, 3 goals in 5 shots on target. That's efficiency.
It is.
And so they've turned it. The coaching staff at Aki have turned it right round, because they looked dead and buried like 3-4 weeks ago, and they've put a good run of form together. And more power to them, really. I mean, Chesterfield is a very difficult place to go. I mean, they were before this, they were unbeaten at home, and that is a Colton buster to beat all Colton buster. That'll have ruined a few hackers.
Ruined mine.
Decent goals as well, including yours. Yeah, decent goals as well. I mean, yeah, top marks to them. I mean, they're not too far off mid-table now.
No, they picked up, haven't they? Because we were really worried for them a couple of weeks back. Three wins in the last 5, I think it is.
Something like that. 10 points from last 15 on offer, I think. 10 points from last 15. Yeah, that's good. That's promotion form, that.
It is. Hey, we've seen it happen last season. You can be down there come February and have a late push. Just going back to the Donny Notts County game. That David, content creator for Doncaster Rovers, fantastic content creator, got his own YouTube channel as well. Give that a shout out. At that David Vlogs, I believe it is, does kind of behind the scenes vlogs at the ground as well. Fantastic content. He says first 20 minutes, I'd say Notts were the best side we've had it at the Eco Power so far this season. Yeah, I agree with that. 2 massive penalty shouts for us though. Disappointing not to get at least one. Yeah, the other one I was talking about was on Jay McGrath in the first half where he's been pulled down. Yeah, on another day you're probably going to get one or both of those. But yeah, balance of play. I think it was a fair result. And then Dale said the last game of the season could still be on. Yeah, that is Donny at Notts County. So hopefully we're both already promoted, and it's a celebration. If not, it could be a very nervy final game of the season, that one.
Yeah.
Bailey's coming. Evening, lads. Sorry a bit late. Yeah, we have already done Donny's game, but if you want to put your thoughts in the chat, we will jump backwards and forwards. There we go. Neil said, Bailey, you being late is the only thing you've got wrong this weekend, isn't it? After a stupendous EFL fantasy points haul. So
he's had a good week, hasn't he?
He has had a very, very good week. And John, greetings. Good evening. I think Ian has a soft spot for Stanley. Mentions him a lot. Maybe loves his milk.
Definitely have. I have, and I'm going to be up there, across there for the FA Cup tie with Swindon at the end of the month. So yeah, I have got a soft spot for Aki. Yeah.
I think we all have at the 72 review. I think they're a fundamental part of the EFL, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, without a doubt. So, and it's a great day out.
Yeah, we were worried that they weren't going to be part of the EFL earlier this season. You said you wanted to mention a couple of games in League Two, mate.
Yeah.
What was your next one?
The next one is the Leaders getting beaten at Gillingham, and Gillingham's return to form after an awful run of form.
First win in 7, I believe, for Gillingham.
Yeah, against the team that are really bang on form and top of the league. It looks like
Talking
it
about the
not
Donny
the
County
best
game being a positive one for the neutral, this certainly isn't, is it? 9 shots on goal, 1 on target, 1 goal. It's not the most enthralling League Two fixtures to watch.
I think Matt at Gills in the Blood will be very happy with it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it was a midfield battle to be looking at the stats.
It does indeed.
Yeah,
50-50.
Also, the goals getting scored 11 minutes from time. I should imagine they'll have to wake people up to see goal going. If anybody was at that game, Dale or a Gills fan, let us know what it was like.
Yeah, I think, like you say, it's one of those games where I think the Gillingham fans will be more than happy with the result to get back to winning ways. Question to the chat and to you, Ian. Manager of the Month curse. Is it a real thing? Because Grant McCann was up for the Manager of the Month. Darren Moore won it. And the first game from winning the Manager of the Month, it's a defeat. I came out and said I didn't want McCann to get it because I believe that there's a Manager of the Month curse. I think as soon as they get it, you're knackered for the next couple of games. I think Bailey's with me. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah. I think it is a real thing, because the thing is, these defeats for the clubs whose manager has won it are too often for it not to be a curse. It does happen a hell of a lot.
Although Bailey has just said Moore won it last month as well, and they have had a very good month.
Yeah.
Just a delayed manager's curse.
I think it is a thing. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Moving on, I will go with, obviously we've got Neil in the chat. Talk to us about your fixture, Neil. Get your thoughts in the chat. And also, if you have just joined, 17 people watching at the minute, if you want to join in and actually talk to us about your club, link to the stream is in the chat. So click on that, join us, and you can talk about your club. But yeah, Fleetwood, 8th minute penalty, and then prevented Bradford from scoring, who I believe have scored in every game this season or the last. It's been a long time since they've not scored in a league game. I think I saw somewhere
they've done well to keep Andy Cook quiet, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, you look at that: 16 shots, 4 on target. That's disappointing, isn't it? That they've not capitalised on those opportunities and made the keeper work a little bit more. They've used the possession well. They've got up there and they've had plenty of opportunities, but like I said, just not enough on target to really trouble the Fleetwood keeper. And the one shot on target from 12 yards out is enough to kind of put Bradford to bed.
Win the game,
yeah, Neil said that it was a very slow, poor first 20 minutes by Bradford. Conceded the penalty, only shot on target all game for Fleetwood. Sam Walker didn't have a save to make apart from the penalty. So
that can galvanise a team, though, when the feel are done by, by that can have a positive effect on them. They go into the next game thinking that's not going to happen again, and it galvanises them. So it might be a blessing in disguise for Bradford. That.
Yeah, just a little kick up the bum, maybe.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Any other fixtures take your fancy in League Two before we move on to Rotherham and League One?
I know Jonathan's not in the chat, but MK on form. They're definitely on form at the moment. They've had a really good run of results, and this one was no exception. Swindon scored not quite as early as Wrexham scored against Rotherham, but I think it was 18 seconds that Harry Smith scored.
Yeah, Swindon. 18 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, and MK equalised on the stroke at half-time, and it was a bit of a stroll for them second half. And by the looks of the stats, they look like they deserved it. 11 on target, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're looking a bit menacing, our MK. They're marching towards the playoff spots.
Yeah, you mentioned Bradford being galvanised from kind of what happened yesterday. I think MK probably had a few wounds to lick from the FA Cup defeat to arch rivals Wimbledon.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately for Swindon, they were on the receiving end of a club that.
Do you know? I think
has got quality, haven't they?
I think Ian Holloway has got a massive job down there at Swindon. They're really looking poor, results-wise poor. It looks like the club's not functioning properly. I mean, Holloway is the man to get them going, but whether he's been given the time and resources to do it is anybody's guess. But Swindon do look vulnerable, very vulnerable.
Yeah, they do. David, fresh trim and a wine glass with Ribena in it. Damn, what a Sunday evening that is. What can I say to that? Yeah, my head's freezing, but this is certainly not Ribena. Although it's been a positive weekend for us, it's not a bad weekend. Normally, I need the alcohol to get through our therapy session, which is the 72 review. We've also got Rob has just dropped in. What a win for Tranmere.
Yeah, great win for them. And they needed it as well. They needed it. Tranmere a little bit in free fall. I saw them lose at home the other week, which they were a bit unlucky to lose. But yeah, they're a decent side of Tranmere when it clicks, and Connor Jennings a goal scorer. Yeah. And yeah, it was a result that they needed.
Yeah, and it looks like they were cruising after an hour, and then obviously late goal makes it squeaky bum time, doesn't it? And when you're not in the greatest form, you think, oh, here we go. But managed to hold out. Obviously, I don't think the red cards really impacted the result being so late on. But yeah, good result for Tranmere.
Yeah, very good.
Lovely stuff. So let's have a quick look at the table before moving on to League One. Morecambe still remain 24th in the table with 2 wins, only 10 points, but it is quite tight down at the bottom for the bottom 2. We've got Carlisle on 11, Swindon, like you say, in trouble. Ian Holloway's got a job on to turn that ship around, hasn't he? 12 points at the minute.
It was a very good result for Carlisle as well. Very good result, winning away. I think it was Salford.
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, good one. 1-0 win at Salford. Colchester, a team that we thought were going to do much better this season, are struggling just above the drop zone once again, with Harrogate and Bromley just above them on 15 points. So yeah.
And Aki are moving towards mid-table.
We love it. Come on, Aki.
Yeah, we do.
Bradford currently in 10th, but it's just as tight at the top of the table as it is down at the bottom. Neil said MK now into 6th and 2 points and 4 places above us now after such a disastrous start to the season. Kudos must go to them for bringing it back under Scott Lindsay. Yeah, they did start very slowly, didn't they?
Scott Lindsay performed a miracle getting Crawley up last season, and his CV must be buoyed even more by this one. Yeah, because he's doing great things at MK. Yeah. 4 wins on the bounce now. Yeah.
It's not bad at all. Gillingham's win has got them back in the playoff picture, hasn't it? Although they weren't really out of it, to be fair. But that stopping that 7-game winless run must be massive, a massive boost for them. Shout out to Grimsby.
5 out of Grimsby's 8 wins have come away from home.
That's not bad, is it? Travel very, very well. But yeah, Grimsby in the playoffs. Crewe also in the mix with Donny in 4th. But look how tight it is at the top of the table. 3 teams on 27. Notts County in 3rd. Walsall in 2nd. Port Vale still leading the way, even though they tasted defeat on yesterday on 30 points, 3 points ahead of the chasing pack.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. On to League One. Some ridiculous score lines in League One this weekend. Once again, before we start on Rotherham, if you do want to get involved and your club's in League One and you want to talk to us, the link to the live stream is in the chat. It's a pinned comment, so join us and you can talk about your club. Ian, you're going to talk to us about yours. Your little banner says Evans out. I think that pretty much says it all. Not happy with Big Steve at the minute. Talk us through this one, mate.
Well, this was embarrassing, to be quite honest. We never turned up. We never showed up. We never showed any fight, never showed any commitment. The first 5 or 10 minutes, we were great. We were on the ball. We looked positive. We put 1 or 2 testing balls into the area. And I thought, oh, this might go well, this. And then we just started standing off and giving Barnsley more time. I mean, Barnsley's midfield is one of the best in League One. Phillips' cheat code. He's a really good player. And we just stood off and idiotic defending from a set piece. I think the centre-back Russell got a header in and Cameron Dawson just flapped at it. It went back to Russell and he just made no mistake. And then we made a couple of substitutions second half. It never transpired. It didn't go well. Barnsley at the bar a couple of times. And the substitute Humphreys that came on only about 5 minutes before, great strike with 4 minutes to go, game over.
Yeah.
There were over 3,000 Millers fans there. And I don't know if you know Barnsley, but you've got to walk past the away end to get back to the dressing room. And Evans were getting the mother of all abuse from the fans, and rightfully so. So things aren't happy at New York Stadium at the moment.
Yeah. Questions come in for you, Ian, from Bailey. Is Wilkes injured? Really surprised that Matty Craig isn't playing much for Barnsley at the minute as well. Yeah, I mean, we had Matty last season. He was incredible.
Wilkes took a knock in the Cheltenham game, the FA Cup tie, and so he went out. I don't think he'll play in the Bristol Street Motors game in midweek. I think they'll try and get ready for his next league game. But yes, he was injured. He would definitely have played if he hadn't been injured.
Yeah. Neil said that, talking about game over, he thought it was for game over for you when you started coughing. Yeah, we're both.
No, I'm all right. Don't worry. I'm fine.
We're both a bit under the weather this week, aren't we? I've started coughing, you're coughing, but at least we're not sharing his germs with you. But yeah, away form's not been great, mate, has it? We've talked about this previously on
the away form's not been great for about 2.5 years, really.
Yeah.
I think we're too passive. I think we're too defensive. As I told you before we came on air, you don't pay 3 defensive midfielders if you're going to go and win a game. I mean, Evans's reputation is based on players getting stuck in, width, crosses into the box. None of that is happening at the moment, both home or away.
Is that because of personnel, or what do you think
I think his recruitment, I don't think his recruitment's been the best.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean Raggett played centre-back for the first time in about 8 weeks yesterday because he'd been injured. Cameron Humphreys, who's very highly rated by the club, not by me, but he's centre-back and he's been poor. Joe Rafferty, the full-back from Pompey, no. Joe Powell from Burton Albion, no. They've just not turned up. Yeah. Johnson Clark-Harris, injured again. He were injured at Peterborough. We've not seen him since. We're just getting that many niggling injuries that Evans explains away, oh, it's nothing serious. And then you don't see him for 4 weeks. Yeah. It's a bit heartbreaking, really, as a Millers fan, because we've had some great times since we've been at New York Stadium, but those days are over. I do honestly think that we're in a relegation battle. I do, because I can't see Tony Stewart sacking him soon.
Yeah,
because I think he's got too much invested financially in Steve Evans, Paul Rayner, and the 3-year contracts.
Yeah,
whether they can afford to sack him is anybody's guess. I doubt it. Secondly, we've got another transfer window to look forward to in January. So I shall tell you what's going to happen now. He's going to farm about 8 players out, bring about another 7 in, and hope something sticks.
Yeah.
And I just can't see it getting any better, unfortunately. I'd like to be wrong, and I'd like to be completely and horribly wrong, and we go on a winning run, but I just can't see it.
It doesn't sound too
I think
dissimilar to...
Evans,
Sorry, mate.
I think Evans has definitely lost the fan base, judging by what I saw on Friday night and judging by the comments on Facebook and Twitter. They're all saying exactly what my banner says: get the man out of the club. But if it happens, great. If it doesn't, who knows? I mean, if we could stretch financially, which is very, very unlikely, I'd like to see Mark Robins back at Rotherham.
Yeah.
But I think that is unrealistic.
Yeah.
But he's the sort of manager I'd go for. Either him or Stephen Schumacher.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Who are the two main names out there?
Bit of a shock for Robins to be kind of...
I was absolutely astounded.
Yeah. For what he's done at Coventry, I just think it's a shocking decision. But ultimately, you've got Evans at the minute.
Yeah.
And
you'd think Robins had got credit in the bank for taking him from League Two to one penalty kick away from the Premier League. You'd think he got a bit of credit there. But football is harsh.
Yeah. Bailey's asked thoughts on Reece James. Really liked him at Donny. Also, did you hear the guy on Radio Sheffield saying to sack Evans and bring Richard Wood in as the gaffer?
I wouldn't stand in Woody's way, to be quite honest with you. But having said that, he's got no managerial experience. Reece James has been okay, but only okay. I'd like to see him learn how to cross a ball, because the number of times he's put it in Rowe's head when we've had players in the area. Defensively, though, pretty sound.
Yeah. David's asked, who would you want in place of Evans? That's a realistic shout. I think Robins and Schumacher are probably
realistic.
Championship level managers, aren't they?
I don't think Robins is realistic, because I think his wage demands, because he's had so much success, would be too high. Yeah. But I think Stephen Schumacher would be a realistic shout.
Yeah. Do you not think he's Championship level? Would you think he'd drop down to build it?
I do. But you've seen in football up and down the years that some managers will be prepared to take a step down to progress their career. And that's not unusual. It's happened a lot in football.
Yeah,
but I do think Schumacher would be realistic. But having said that, that's all hypothetical, because I can't see Tony Stewart getting rid of Steve Evans anytime soon.
Yeah.
But if it does happen, that'd be my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Bailey said problem with Evans is, in his opinion, is that his style of management is very old school and requires players to buy in. And in this era of football, not many will.
It's not so much old school. It's not so much old school as 15 years out of date. I mean, it's very easily worked out. It's very easily worked out. They know what we're going to do. We're going to pump it long to the big front man and try and play it off second balls and try and get crosses in, but it just doesn't work anymore.
No, it doesn't. So yeah, disappointing start to the weekend for you, mate. But hopefully something clicks and it starts to turn around. Like say, if not, you could be looking over your shoulder nervously. A lot of games coming thick and fast over the next couple of months. So start to settle down and you start to see really where teams are going to be come the end of the season as we're going into the new year. Yeah. But moving on to Bristol Rovers against Lincoln, we've got Sue in the chat. She said a fair scoreline for us, but if we can draw away, not playing our best, we will take a point. But our games, hard away games this month, over 1,800 miles with cup games as well. That's going to take its toll for sure. But yeah, decent result for Lincoln.
Well, at least you've got a short one coming up, because I think we're due to play you next month at New York. Yeah,
so it's not too bad, that one. But yeah, I mean, like Sue says, if you get points in your away games, and Lincoln's a very tough place to go, the win more than lose at home, they'll be fine this season, won't they? I think they'll be pushing for playoffs if they continue doing what they're doing at the minute.
Strong side. And I was impressed with Moylan got the goal. I was impressed with Moylan in the cup game which I watched. You know, the FA Cup tie.
Yeah,
I thought he was really good in that.
he was.
So yeah, they've got a strong squad because in the cup tie, I mean, the won 3-0, they won at a counter.
Yeah,
but they only had half a first team out. So it just shows that the strength in depth at Lincoln is really high.
Yeah, and that helps at this level, doesn't it? I mean, it helps at any level of football if you've got depth, but certainly, certainly at League One and League Two level and Championship, where you've got 46 league games, you're in every single cup, especially in League One and Two, where you've got Bristol Street Motors as well. You start at the early stages at FA Cup, early stages at Carabao. It's a 50+ game season for many clubs. So yeah, depth is massively important. Sue says Moylan never scores tap-ins. We've got James, Newport County. We've unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, I don't think you're that bothered. We've finished League Two, but he's short and sweet. We are crap. Not happy with Newport's result this week. I like short and sweet. It's decent. We did have Burton as well. Came in. Saying good evening. Very happy. Burton fan, I'm sure. First win of the season, 14th time of asking, and it was a win which pulled you off at the foot of the table and replaced you with Shrewsbury. But it's nice to see Orsi getting on the score sheet. He was very good for Crawley last season, wasn't he? Very good week.
He was very good at our place when they drew 2-2. Orsi, he scored at our place. And I was impressed with him. He was going to score goals in League One, no problem. I think that's about 4 or 5 he's got.
It's a weird one, isn't he? Orsi? He's quite a big lad, but he's quick. He kind of plays off the shoulder a lot, and the goal yesterday came from that, a really good through ball. He's played off the shoulder, and I think he rounded the keeper and slotted it home with a lot of composure, really. And I think he did that a lot last season at Crawley, and I was surprised that they let him go, to be fair, with them being promoted. But no, like I say, 14th time of asking, first win of the season. Got to ask you, Burton, if you're still in to chat, is this the point where it clicks and it turns around and you're going to go on a run now, or is it a flash in the pan? But 2-0 against Shrewsbury, must be happy with that, to get that first win and the duck off your back.
Definitely.
Ian, any games that you want to touch on? Obviously, I think there's quite a few in League One.
Just one result that's came in from the best team in League One, Bolton Wanderers.
You know what? I was struggling. All we get week in, week out is Wrexham at best team in league, Birmingham at best team in league.
No, the real best team in the League One, because even Ian Everett said so.
Before we go on
2 or 3 seasons ago, but
before we go on to Bolton, Burton upon Trent Railways has said that not many clubs start the season with a new manager and complete new squad. The tide is turning. There we go.
Yeah,
lovely stuff. Neil is on the same page. Where are they? They got battered, didn't they?
Oh dear.
Take it away. 5 different scorers as well.
I mean,
good day for Stockport.
I mean, let's face it. Stockport last time out got a hammering of their own at home. Was
that Wickham?
But they're a good side. They're a really good side, and they attack relentlessly. Stockport, and I'm not surprised there's 5 different scorers because they've got goals from everywhere. I mean, the centre backs score goals, the midfield score goals. I mean, they're just a very, very good side. But Bolton, they're supposed to be up there, like Rotherham. They were expected to be up there, and they're having quite a rude awakening. I mean, I think they're in a better position than we are, but still, for a club of Bolton's size, they should be a lot higher up the league. But it's 11 against 11, and they've got a whooping.
Yeah. To be fair, I think Donny fans in the chat might jump on me on this one, but I'm glad we didn't go up this last season. The stars were pretty much aligning. It looked like we were we were going to get by Crewe, and then that unbeaten run, it looked like it was never going to end. But League One,
Yeah, because you'd have fancied your chances against Crawley, wouldn't you? You would have fancied.
Yeah, I mean, they were a good team, and the looking at how they played in the final last season, they'd probably turned us over. But just looking at how competitive and the money that's in League One at the minute, I'm quite glad that we've had that extra season to build and get a few more players in, because I think we're much better set up to compete at League One next season if we do make it. But I think it's showing here, like you say, the club the size of Bolton should be, well, they shouldn't be in League One really, should they? But
no,
teams are at the level that they're supposed to be. I mean, Neil's in the chat. Bradford, I don't think they should be a League Two team with the stature that they are. But like you say, it's 11 players against 11 players, and sometimes quality comes at a cost, doesn't it? And I think we'd struggle to compete at League One, or we would have this season. I think we'll be better set next season. That's my thought. Bailey's agreed with me. Need another year to build the squad, although, to be fair, looking at the bottom end of League One, I think we'd have a good chance of staying up. Yeah. And Neil agreed with me.
Fair comment,
I'd say Bradford probably League One level in terms of stature, if not knocking on Championship. Bolton as well. There's just some huge teams that are down at this level, and it just makes it so difficult to
Huddersfield, Charlton, all big clubs.
Yeah, Burton said League One's very unpredictable this season. Anyone can beat anyone. Yeah, I do think there is a bit of a gap financially. Yeah, I mean, like you say, there's Huddersfield, Birmingham, Peterborough. I mean, Peterborough smashed Cambridge 6-1, and there's some crazy scorelines that come out in League One. This was one of them, wasn't it? I mean, Poku, I think I might have had him in my fantasy.
Yeah.
Did well. So.
Yeah, I mean, Peterborough are always capable of this. They're capable of scoring a boatload of goals, and they've been for a few seasons now. But they're also capable of conceding a boatload of goals as well. I mean, we drew with them three apiece. A few weeks ago, we drew with them 3 apiece after being 3-1 up at half time. So there's goals in them. You see, Peterborough, they might lose the next game 4-0. They're perfectly capable of that as well.
You know what? I won't mind that too much. Going to a game and always guaranteed to see goals, but you just don't know which net they're going to go into.
Yeah, true.
But local bragging rights in this one as well, wasn't it? Two teams that are quite close together geographically, I think. I think they are. Oh, are you with us, Ian? Oh no, one of us has gone. Let me know in the chat if it's me or Ian who has frozen. I think it's Ian. We will continue anyway. Oh no. Let's have a look. We have got John mentioned that you lot in the chat crap all over Wrexham usually. Beat Mansfield. Oh, it must have been Ian. Ian's frozen. Yeah, Ian's frozen. Ian's gone. He'll be back, I'm sure. Everyone's on it. Ian's frozen. Let's get John back. John's comment back up. Yeah, we normally crap all over Wrexham usually. Beat Mansfield again, and a 74-14-6 at the home under Parky. So yeah, that's a fantastic record to be fair. Ian is back. 74 wins, 14 draws, and 6 defeats at home for Wrexham under Parky. It's decent. The stats speak for themselves. And honestly, John, we only crap all over Wrexham because we're just sick and tired of hearing them about them on the main media channels. But ultimately, like I say, stats speak for themselves. The squad is very good. You're getting wins, you're competing at this level. I think you've got enough behind you in terms of finances to go up a level as well. The sponsorship and everything around the club, it's all positive. I think for fans of the AFL that are from England, just kind of, we want that exposure and that focus kind of spreading across the full divisions, because I mean, you look at Donny versus Notts County, it was a fantastic advert for League Two, and we got maybe a minute tops on the highlights last night. And yeah, you can't have loads of time for every club, but it just seems like Wrexham, Birmingham, where the money is, where kind of the story is, that's where the main media focus, and it just gets a little frustrating because I think every club within the 72 deserves its own bit of airtime, because every club does a lot of work in the community. Every club means something to the fans within that area. But yeah, ultimately, from a footballing perspective, the squad's decent, and you're competing at this level, and like that 74 wins, 14 draws, and 6 at home. It's a formidable place to go, and you're going to be in a game to get anything out of it, aren't
you? Yeah, true enough.
There we go. Let's have a quick look at the League One table before moving on to the Championship. We've got Shrewsbury replaced Burton at the bottom of the table after Burton's first win of the season. Like I said, 14 at the 14th time of asking, get my teeth in. Cambridge and Crawley make up the bottom 4 on 10 and 12 points. It's not quite as tight as League Two. You jumped to 14 points and 16, so there's a couple of points between each club. But like saying, looking over his shoulder a little bit at the minute, 5 points away from the drop.
Yeah, we are to doubt. Yeah. I mean, the table doesn't actually take into account how shit we are.
The table lies.
The table on this occasion does lie. Yeah, because we've had 4 victories. Some of them have been streaky in the excess. I honestly do think that we're in for a relegation battle. And that's not me being pessimistic. That's me being watching all our own games and watching some of the away games. We're not good enough. Definitely not good enough.
Yeah. Thank you, John. You said well said. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's nothing personal against Wrexham as a club.
No, not at all.
For me, I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody there. It's more the mainstream media kind of just forcing it down his neck. Which,
and let's face it, John as a fan has got absolutely no control over the mainstream media.
No,
I mean, at least Wrexham fans don't come the Billy Big Balls like Birmingham fans do. You know, like the HMS Pistol Leagues or whatever. You know, and they come across as being pig arrogant, I'm afraid.
Bailey's come into the chat as well, saying was listening to a Twitter space a few weeks ago, and there was an Orient shareholder on there speaking about there being 3 different mini leagues in League One financial wise.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. James, the Newport fan, it is personal for Wrexham. Going towards the top end of the table, Bolton currently in 10th, like you say, and that's massively underperforming for a club that size. Huddersfield have dropped out of the playoff picture at the minute.
They'll be there or thereabouts. Huddersfield will be there or thereabouts. In my opinion.
Yeah. Mansfield not far off as well. Stockport with that huge win. Hit and miss form though, isn't it? Like you said, got Tonkin against at home to Wickham, I think it was midweek, and then returned with a 5-0 win themselves. Lincoln doing superbly in 5th, Barnsley in 4th, Wrexham in 3rd, and then Birmingham knocked off the top spot with a bit of stuttering form in the last 5.
What a run of form that is for Wickham. What a run of form.
Come out of nowhere. Who's had a good point though, saying that she thinks Lincoln are probably bottom half in the financial table. So just does show that sometimes finances aren't the be all and end all. It's not going to guarantee you a position in the table, is it?
From a Rotherham point of view, I would say we are in the sort of like middle of that financial league.
Yeah.
You know, because we have had a couple of seasons in the Championship. We've sold a few players, so that should be good. Stockport hosting Wrexham.
Yeah, John said Stockport
what a game that will be.
That will be a very, very good fixture, I think. Lovely stuff. So we've got around 15 minutes to go through Championship. Now we're on the Championship. You will notice that our normal Championship correspondent, Jake, is not with us. I feel for him today, and I think this is a good community to talk about this. He's been absolutely hammered today from every angle. Obviously, it's been the Steel City derby, and he's had quite a lot of abuse, and it's made him feel like he wants to just kind of give it a rest for a little bit. The international break's coming up, and for me as a content creator, we were talking about it. We kind of put our head above the parapet as it was. So you're going to get shot at a little bit, but at the same time, we've got no influence on any result or any performance. We're just kind of sharing our passion, and the community here that we've got are fantastic, very respectful. Sorry, but yeah, Jake just feels like he's been bombarded a little bit, so he's having a little break away from it, which is a shame because he does add a lot of value. And yeah, it's it's not nice.
I think if our
how do you not notice Jake's missing?
I think if our result at Barnsley had been today, I think I would have struggled because on Friday night I was beyond angry. I was absolutely incandescent with anger. So I think I would have struggled. But now I've had a couple of days to get my head around it. You sort of accept it a little bit. But I think what a lot of clubs should realise, especially the management and players of these clubs, is that these local derbies, when you go to a local derby, don't compete. Wednesday did compete. I'm not putting that to them. But when the performance Rotherham turned in at Barnsley, they were so insipid, so half-arsed, that you're going to get angry. And I think a lot of these management and players, especially, I mean, footballers these days are mercenaries. They go where their money is. They don't realise how much it hurt the supporters. And it does hurt. I mean, I'm 62 and it hurts like mad. And I think if you're a proper supporter of a club, it does.
Yeah, it does. I don't know why I put a sense through it sometimes, to be fair.
Yeah.
Neil's hit the nail on the head, though. Shame on the fools that abuse superbly hard-working content creators and footy-loving fans like Jake. Yeah. He's all right, though. He's all right. He's just wanting... He just didn't feel like he could sit on here for an hour and potentially have people tongue-in-cheek having a bit of a laugh with him, but I think it's still a little bit raw. So why do people give abuse? It's keyboard warriors with no lives. It never comes on bragging about, but like acting like Billy Big Balls is honest and knowledgeable. Why oh why?
Completely agree.
Yeah, and without people like Jake and you guys, there's no platform like this, and people will do well to remember that. Yeah, and we, like I say, we're just sharing our passion. So ultimately, people have got their opinions.
We can forward those comments on to Jake as well if he's not watching at the moment. So we'll tell him.
On the championship though, we missed a load of fixtures because of the FA Cup last week. Any games from last week that you want to touch on, or shall we just go into this weekend's in?
I think Leeds look good against Argyle. Obviously, I mean Ellen Road's hell of a place to go. I'm not touching.
Is that the keyboard warriors or Leeds?
I'm not. It'll be Leeds, I think. I'm not going to touch on Wednesday's result from last week because that would be really rubbing salt into the wounds.
Yeah, it's a Steel City derby defeat and then an absolute tonking the week before. But midweek they did perform admirably against Norwich, didn't they?
Which were an excellent
results there. Yeah. But yeah, 2-0 win against Norwich midweek. David said he meant keyboard warriors, but now you mention it.
Yeah.
And Joseph said 1-0 doesn't reflect the game today against United. So I think we go on to this weekend's results. Starting with Sheff Wednesday. Where am I? There we go. Sheff United 1, Sheff Wednesday 0. I listened to bits. I think you watched it, didn't you, Ian?
I watched it. I think United did deserve to win. I think there were the stats, nearly 60% possession. I think Wednesday set up to contain if I'm being honest, it was scrappy. It wasn't very entertaining, but the Blades got the job done, and it were a decent goal to win it. Yeah, deserved winners, but it was very competitive as you'd expect a local derby to be, and just Sheffield United narrowly came out the right side. And
I think you get that a lot with derbies, don't you? They're always build, and the expectation kind of builds throughout the week, and everyone's buzzing for it, and you want a really kind of end-to-end enthralling game, and it never quite materializes, does it? They always end up being quite nervy affairs.
I mean,
won by one goal.
In my watching United Wednesday encounters over the years, they're always these type of games, or very often these type of games.
I think there's a fear in the players to a certain extent that nobody wants to make a mistake and be that player that's lost the game. So nobody really grabs it by the bollocks to win it. And I think you have a couple of players that are willing to do that, and you will win the game. Joseph said we dominated the first half, but they're nothing special at all. The quality just showed through. And it seems like that, doesn't it? I mean, like you say, the stats, they've had 60% of the possession, but shots wise, Wednesday have had 10. They've not had one on target, which is disappointing. But on Radio Sheffield, they were saying that in the first half, it was kind of looking at kind of sitting in, being really difficult to break down, and then hitting on the counter. Maybe that was a tactic that Danny Rowles come in and wanted to kind of try and nullify the threats that Sheffield United have got. They've got quality across the pitch. And I think after being beaten 6-2 last week, winning 2-0, I think it's one of those where, the man is here.
Hey guys.
Good evening, Jake. We have just been talking about you getting absolutely hammered, and you've got a lot of love in the chat here, so it's a safe space. Talk to us about it.
I just want to thank that David, because he gave me some good advice on that Instagram just then. And he's like, fuck him. Don't take a criticism from somebody that you won't take advice from. And he's right. So I'm not gonna let him win. And thanks for that, David. It gave me a little bit of a confident boost.
Good stuff.
Yeah. To be fair, most of the Blades have been brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the percentage that I had one that go. I had a comment yesterday. It was weird. It was like, he's obviously not a Wednesday fan, neither Blade, never bet for Shepherd. It's like, what the fuck are you on about? Why the fuck am I making so many videos about Wednesday if I don't support my club?
Yeah.
It's just it's things like that, and there've been some that I'm not going to repeat because they're just downright nasty. But if we get onto the football side of it, you know what? I'm actually quite proud of that game, because we could have got absolutely battered. And I don't know if you guys watched it at all. I think first half we were the better team. But I said this before, we are a team of 45 minutes. We can do a really good first 45 minutes or a really good second 45 minutes. It's then when we go into that second period, and I think Wilder just gave them a little bit more of a kick up the backside than what they had in the first half. And if you actually look at stats, it's one shot all game.
Yeah.
That beats us. And I think if one shot that beats you all game, it's even more a bit of a kick in the backside, because like just that little bit more quality. But I think it shows where the two teams are, either side, where the quality is. They're on the verge of getting yet another takeover, and we're stuck with Tuna Man, which don't help. Because I don't know, we didn't do a show last week, and I don't know if you know, we're embargoed again. We've not paid the tax man.
Was it unpaid tax, or was it unpaid transfers?
Unpaid tax man.
God's sake.
Again.
So you're not embargoed, are you?
No, we're embargoed.
I thought I read that you weren't allowed to register players, so you could still sign players. But
we are in a transfer embargo. It's just until it's paid. That it basically got to pay it, and then we can register them.
Yeah,
like you said, but it shouldn't happen twice in 2 seasons at the same time.
No, it shouldn't.
If there's a cash flow issue, I don't know about you, but if I'm going to have work done on my house by a builder, I'm going to make sure I have the cash and just make sure you don't come around and then want to rip it all down. You
Yeah.
make sure you've got the
Yeah,
cash, and
exactly.
it's just like, if there's a cash flow issue, admit it and just move
Yeah.
on. There's no harm in saying you haven't got the money to run us anymore. But I think as a whole, proud of the players, could have done with that bit more cutting edge. I think but this has been Sheffield United all season. They've won the game by an odd goal or so, or got like 98th minute winners and stuff like they did midweek.
Yeah.
I think they are very defensively strong, Sheffield United. I think they've only conceded 7 all season. And I think they haven't conceded at home since September. So it was always going to be difficult. I think in second half there was a bit of a pull on. I say a pull. Michael Smith got his shirt ripped and stuff, but it was like it all game. And it's like VAR, there would have been penalty galore.
Yeah.
Like today. But would it have changed the flow of the game? Constantly having a VAR check? Probably would have done. But I'm not going to sit here and say that we got battered or anything like this. I'm not going to sit here and just be like, we played a team who's very good at once they are clinical, they take their chances. They did that, and that's all it was. It was one shot on target to our none. And it didn't feel like a derby. It felt really weird. Once the game got going, apart from that flat point in the first half where Bannon cut off one of their players, it didn't have that kind of bite of a derby. It felt odd.
Yeah.
But hey, it's been a weird one. We got battered 6-2 last weekend, got a win midweek, and only lost to Sheffield United 1-0, who were second in the league. I'll take that.
Yeah, every Wednesday fan I spoke to last week were very nervous going into this one. Obviously, getting beat 6-2 against Watford. Obviously, midweek winning kind of settled the nerves a little bit, but yeah, Wednesday fans at work and talking to yourself as well, it was a case of shit. We've got Sheffield United next week. It's a big one. If we show up like we did against Watford, it's not just an embarrassment. It's so much more than that when it's the derby, isn't it?
And let's face it, Jakey, it's the equivalent to 3 draws, 3 points from 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. I after the Watford game, I said I'd take 4 points.
Yeah,
I'd take a win and a draw.
Yeah,
I got one. I got 3. I missed the draw.
Yeah.
We maybe have a chance in this where we hit one of them, then great. But at the end of the day, you got to think where we are. We're a team in transition. We're transitioning from where we want to be. They're where we are, and they're already miles ahead. Especially if they're going to have another takeover. We've been. If you actually look at the top 6, we got beat 4-0 by Sunderland. 1-0 by Sheffield United. We beat West Brom 3-2. We lost 2-0 to Leeds. And I think we lost, and we got beat 6-2 by Watford.
Yeah.
We've not, if you actually look at it, apart from that Watford one, we've actually not done too badly.
Yeah, quite competitive. Yeah.
Yeah, and Joseph said there's positives to take from today. We competed with a very strong team. Hate to say it, but like I say, I think we deserved a point. Can't fault any of the players today.
No.
Give everything up the house.
I think that's the difference. That's the difference from what Wednesday performed today to what Rotherham performed at Barnsley. Wednesday were competitive. We weren't. And that was my standpoint. We didn't treat it like a local derby. We treated it like a pre-season kickabout. And Barnsley battered us. And and that's what I were angry about.
Yeah. You've got some love from Sue as well, Jake. Go, Jake. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Jealous people who wouldn't have the balls to put themselves out there. And that's it.
Yeah, I think that's the difficult thing. When you do this, you put yourself out there. But one of the reasons I started the channel, I can't spell for toffee, become dyslexic as shit.
Yeah,
the forum site, the forum site, I'm useless with. So I thought I'd just put my name a face to a name and do it that way. But it just, I think it's one of those things. We've all do content, and you've had it in the past, Dan, where you just don't want to do it because you know what's coming. I know that League One relegation, there were days where you just didn't put a video up because you knew what the abuse was.
Yeah.
And I think unless you've done it and put yourself out there, it's very difficult to know what it's like. You know what I mean?
It's shit.
Yeah.
It's shit because, like I said, I don't know if you're watching before you came on. I was saying that ultimately all we do is want to share his passion, and that passion is at each of our football clubs. We have no influence on results, performances, or anything like that. It hurts just as much for us. Every defeat, every draw, every win, we feel it just as much as anybody who just goes to the game, has a few pints with the mates, watches it, goes home. We're exactly the same. If anything, I'd argue that we'd probably put a sense through a little bit more because we end up editing it and watching it all over again, and that was horrible during the League One relegation and the League Two struggle the season after.
I have the thing is, I sometimes wish I was a normal fan where I didn't do this, where I could just go back and just turn it off and like, right, I'm off to work the next day.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to do this instead. But you've got that whole thing. You want to make sure we build community because we want to share our thing. Yes, we all want the likes, we all want the view, but we also want to build community. That's what we've done with the 72. That's what you've done with 18 Daff, and that's what Ian's doing with his old man ground hopping.
I think I'm in a more advantageous position because the majority of games that I've logged, I'm a neutral. So therefore, it doesn't hurt me, whatever the result may be. So I think I can be a little bit more objective that way.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why you don't like vlogging. That's why you don't like vlogging Rotherham, though, isn't it?
Yeah, because I can't guarantee an impartiality like you guys can. I can't.
Yeah,
I kick every ball, sort of thing.
I struggle sometimes. But we have ticked over the hour mark, so I'm going to give you one game in. Pick one game in the Championship because we've gone off
the one I went to. The one I went to.
Yeah, you went to Derby.
Against Plymouth.
Derby against Plymouth.
Jerry Yates, what a goal!
Yeah.
Oh, it was, weren't it?
We've not seen ATID in the chat. That's a surprise. He's normally irregular, but yeah, you went to Derby. Did you meet ATID?
I didn't actually, no, because I was expecting him to contact me a lot, but he didn't. But anyway, getting towards the game, it was nearly 30,000 there, just over 29,000. Terrific atmosphere from both sets of supporters, and the Argyle fans packed the away end, and they sung from the first minute to the last, as did the Derby fans, which made a terrific atmosphere, and it was a very good game of football. Derby play some excellent football. They play it through the thirds. Mendes Lang was dangerous throughout. Yates were very good. Defensively, they were quite sound. Like I said, it was a wonder goal by Jerry Yates on 8 minutes. Great overhead kick, and I had a great view of it as well. It was a wonderful strike.
Did he nearly go off on the halfway line in the second half as well?
Yes, he did. That was in the second half. That was it. And Derby piled on the pressure, couldn't get the second goal. Balls deflected out for a corner. Good defense. Let me say that Argyle defended fantastically in this game. They threw everything on the ball and put everything on the line, and they really did perform for the manager. The equaliser were a little bit fortunate. It was a free kick at the edge of the box. Adam Randall took it. It took a wicked deflection past the Derby keeper. 1-1 half time. Second half continued in the same vein as the first, with Derby piling forward. And Jerry Yates, as he said, Jake, he hit one from the halfway line, and I'm not, because I was at the other end of the pitch, I'm not sure whether it actually hit the post or the keeper saved it. But I
think the keeper saved it as he was backtracking.
Yeah. And they had one or two more really close calls, but Argyle nearly hit him on the break a couple of times in the last few minutes. So, I mean, I think from an Argyle perspective, with their away record, this is a fantastic point for them.
Oh yeah.
But I think
I only know about
Derby is just a comical bot.
I only know about the Jerry Yates goal because a mate on my Facebook friends, it's his nephew.
All right, yeah. it was a great game of football, a fantastic watch, great atmosphere. Really enjoyed it. I think Derby, though, coming up from League One, they've adapted extremely well to the Championship. And I don't think they'll be in any danger at all. I think mid-table is definitely achievable.
He's where he got Rotherham before he left.
That's right. We were 9th
He's where he
when
got,
he left.
yeah. He's where he got Rotherham where he left, but the difference is Derby will give him money to spend in January.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. And also, I think he's got a better squad of players at Derby. Yeah. I think that they're strong in all positions, really. And, I don't think Derby fans have got anything to worry about at all. And I think Argyle, the defensively, they're pretty sound. They might be fighting the drop, but I think they stand a hell of a good chance because they impressed me. I would say Derby probably did deserve to win, but Argyle put a lot into that game and got the reward with a point.
There we go. Joseph asked, I will be at the game next week, Donny versus Salford. Looking forward to that one. I think, Ian, you're thinking about coming there as well.
Yes, I think I might be there next Saturday, yeah.
With it being the international break, if you're there, mate, and you see me, give me a shout. I'm more than happy to say hello.
I will say, God.
John said you were worried about it being just me and Ian. Well, Ian can do an hour on one lip.
Now, I don't know. I don't know whether that's a praise or a criticism. Please let me know.
It's a backhanded compliment, Ian, I think.
I think it's a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B.
Right, let's have a quick look at the table.
You know what? I worry for QPR. That bottom four.
Yeah.
Oh. What's happened to QPR?
It's not just QPR.
They had a great second half of the season
down from the Premier League.
Yeah.
So the bottom three, QPR 1 win from 15 on 10 points, not a win in their last 5 shown on there. I'm not sure if they've won one before then. Portsmouth, Cardiff in the bottom 3 with Luton just above, but there's 4 teams on 15 points. Preston and Hull City.
Cracking win for Portsmouth.
Yeah, cracking win for Portsmouth.
There's a problem going on at Hull as well. To show you, keeping Liam Matheny might have been a better job.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Moving up the table, like you said, Ian, Plymouth not looking too bad. Obviously, they'll be looking over the shoulder a little bit. Only 1 point above Cardiff in 22nd, but
they'd have taken a point, wouldn't they, at Derby?
Yeah.
They would have definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Coventry turned their form around a little bit over the last couple of games. They are notoriously slow starters, but we will see what happens with them getting rid of Mark Robinson.
No reason to sack Mark Robbins. Stupid decision.
That was an idiotic decision. Idiotic.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that one. Sheff Wednesday currently in 15th. Happy with that, Jake?
Take that. I've got off mid-table this season. And if we go on a bit of a run, the thing is, with how tight the Championship, you go on a run, you're near playoff. You don't go on a run, you're near relegation. So if we can just be in that middle ground, I'm okay.
Yeah.
More points than last season, so I'm happy.
Yeah. And moving up to the top 6, we've got Watford, West Brom, Burnley, and Leeds making up the playoffs. With Sheffield United, 4 wins on the bounce. The win today moved them up into 2nd on the same points of Sunderland, who dropped points for the 3rd time running.
Yeah, 2-0 up against Coventry, weren't they? And Coventry turned it round.
I believe we've only not played one of the top 10 now.
Burnley.
Is that Borough?
No, we played Burnley. We lost. I think it's Borough.
Yeah,
it's Borough and Blackburn.
Yeah. So you've had a bit of a tough period, haven't you? So to be in 15th, it's not too bad. Lovely stuff. So moving on to the EFL, the Fantasy EFL, we have got a 72 review league, and it's not looking good for the nephew. He's currently almost propping up the table. I take pride in saying
what are you getting him for
week.
Christmas? Are you going to get him something to help him climb up like a ladder?
I might help him out in the next couple of weeks because I've had I say I've had a few good weeks. I forgot about last week, and it ended up
You got
scuppering me a little
none.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got 2 points last week or something. But yeah, moving up the table, you'll see your name. Jonathan currently in 16th. He got 35 points. I moved myself up to 15th on 89 points this week. A good week. I'm happy with that.
You're breathing down my neck.
Chasing you down again, Ian. But yeah, week 13 was a disappointment for me. Nathan is in 13th, dropped down a little bit. But yeah, Bailey in this one. Lizzie dropped down to 9th. We will get to Bailey. Lee's dropped down to 4th. Liam Martin up to 3rd. Adam currently chasing down Bailey, but Bailey got 108 points this week, which is incredible. Puts him on 995 points for the season. So it's just a little bit of fun as the season goes. Looks like Bailey could be winning another pint. I still owe him one for winning the Predictions League last season. So
I think you should just not make it a pint and just have it as a slap up dinner.
No slap up dinners from me.
No, you haven't heard me out.
Go on.
It doesn't have to be a slap up dinner. With the way you guys do catering, you can just sit in your seats.
Oh yeah, slap up dinner from the catering at Doncaster Rovers. But yeah, Bailey, if you're still in the chat, I still owe you a pint for winning the table last season. It's looking like it could be a second pint. I might as well just buy a crate of beer at this point.
Also, next weekend, we've been international break. There'll only be a few League One games and a few League Two games, so be careful on that.
Yeah, don't do what I did last week and forget about it.
Yeah.
At what point with these bloody international break do they just go, everyone gets one? It's getting worse.
Yeah. We're in League Two. It's sound. We pretty much everybody plays in League Two.
Yeah, but even 1 or 2 League Two games get called up.
Yeah, they do. I do think it'll come to a point where they do say international break's just a break for the full divisions. But
I think it'll do players a lot of good. Having a week off.
Yeah. But yeah, to finish off, we'll start with Jake. Any final words, mate?
I'm not gonna swear here, make it blatantly obvious. Don't let dickhead ruin your weekend. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, we do this because it's a passion project. And thank you for all the love and support in the chat. And thank you for that, David, who just sent me a message. It gave me a bit of a kick up the arse to go, don't let them win. You know me, I put my heart on my sleeve and I'm very passionate about it. And I'll have a rant in the chat we have. And sometimes it don't go any further than that. But there are times where doing this and also having a young family and a chronic illness, it gets on top of you. And
yeah.
I picked the wrong weekend to let my mother come round yesterday. So I had my mother round yesterday and then this. I was like, I should have spaced that out. But at the end of the day, if you want to do a YouTube channel, just remember the pitfalls you are an open target, but enjoy it. It's one of the best things you can do if you do it.
Yeah,
completely.
I'd agree with that.
Any final words from you, Ian?
Yeah, good therapy session as always. Like Jake said, just try and be kind. It's easy for these keyboard warriors to go and try and mentally destroy you, but just don't let them.
Yeah.
If you keep your head above that parapet and produce content, be prepared for everything that might come your way, but also deflect it. You're doing it because you love it.
Yeah, I think I'll echo what David sent to you on Instagram, mate. Basically, don't take any sort of criticism from somebody you wouldn't go to for advice. I think that's a really good
That's
phrase.
excellent. Yeah.
It literally made me grab my phone, grab my tripod, and go, get on the show, Jake. Don't let them win. Burying and hiding just showed that it got to me. And I don't want people to do that. And if you are going to start a YouTube channel, remember, everyone starts on 0.
Yep. Yeah. They do indeed.
We all start on the same number.
Yeah. Lovely stuff. So another fantastic therapy session to start our week. It's been a difficult one, obviously. Defeats for pretty much all of us. A draw for Donny. We've had a few weekends where we've all won, but it's few and far between.
I'm just glad you didn't do one last week. I just would have been sat like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Neil said it. I'm proud to say that I'm part of this great community, and so so you three should be proud.
Thank you, Neil.
of Top
Thank
Effort,
you
guys.
very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Cheers, Neil. Much
Um,
appreciate it.
Burton said thank you. Neil said bye. Goodbye, Neil. Thank you.
See you later, mate.
But yeah, another good therapy session, which has set us on our way for hopefully a positive week. International break next weekend, so you'll get a bit of a rest, Jake. Ian, are you playing next week? No, you're not.
No, we're not playing. No. We should have been playing the best club in League One, but it's Ian Everett's lot. But they've
Loads
called
of
it off
internationals in that.
Oh,
John said,
best
thanks,
team
Jen.
in League One.
Look,
What do you
quality
expect?
teams except Newport and Stockport because they're playing Stockport. But yeah, thank you all for watching. As always, if you've stuck with us this long, really appreciate it. If you're watching this throughout the week, stick a big thumbs up on it. Comments in the section down below. We will read them and try to get back in touch with you. Subscribe to all three of us. If you
Remember, we have a Twitter account that's dedicated for the 72 Review Show. So if you've got any questions or anything, or want to ask other questions, send it us there, and then we might be able to put it in the show.
That's a good point. I always forget to promote that. Yeah,
I forgot we had it until I saw it earlier today, so don't worry.
But no, if you are watching us at any point, big thumbs up. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe to us all if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you next weekend, same time, same place. Enjoy your week.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.